Hey guys, Robert Varden here at Taylor Adhesives. Again, continuing our series on seaming carpets. What I have here, again, we've covered a lot of woven material. What I've got here is a flat weave. It is a woven flat weave. Now there are some flat weaves that you may be able to cut from the top and get enough security to it to where, you may not have to do this process. But a lot of these flat weaves, what happens is you have a weft yarn going through here that the only stability it has is where the warp yarns are just basically going over it. They're not really secured. So as you can see, I can come in here and just, with no effort, just continue to pull those weft cords just right out. So even if you tried to get a nice cut and put seam sealer, it's not going to secure it well enough for it to take on the traffic or anything like that. So the process is this. What I would do is if my seam edge, if I wanted that seam edge to be about right here, and what I want is I want at least about 1 inch. So I would come over about 1 inch off of where my seam edge was going to be. Once I've determined that, then I basically come to the edge and I pull everything off. All of these warp cards, all these warp chains, I want to basically get rid of all of them. And again, as you can kind of see where I've already prepped this side, I want about 1 inch of those weft cords coming across there. That will give me nice bit of material to secure. So again, it's a process. You want to get these pulled off all the way down your entire seam. Don't just pull a few feet and start doing the other process. Just get it all out of your way. Okay, I'm getting close to where my seam edge is going to be. So I'll start using a little bit more care when I'm pulling them, just so that I don't interrupt the actual seam edge I want to use. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use that 2-row light piece going across. I do have one more thing I want to get out of the way. You want to make sure you get everything to where you don't have a heel. All right. Once you are at this point, what you have to do then is you have to shave off the weft cords. Some call them the shuttle cords. What I have found is the easiest way to do that is what I will do is I will just simply take some masking tape. And I'll take that piece of masking tape, and sometimes I'll run it 3, 4, 5 feet at a time. And I put it right on the edge of my seam edge. I rub that down into those face yarns. Take a couple little pieces to tie it back. Because what I will do is, what this does is very nicely, as you can see, it pulls and it separates your face yarns from those shuttle yarns. Kind of gets them out of the way because, as you're going to see in a minute, we have to trim those off. Okay? You might have one or two here that tries to stay on one side or the other. Just bring them back. Okay? Same with these. Just bring them up. Get them out of your way. Once you've got it to this point, you have to trim off all of these weft cords. Easiest way I've found is coming from here. Take your shears, cut them off. Try to get as close as you can to the base of that face yarn, of course, without shearing any part of that face yarn. How close and how tight you get to that edge has to do with how nice or less visibility that you're going to have on your seam when you finish it. Okay, got one there. Once you have all those weft cords cut off, be very careful when you remove the tape. What I always suggest is pull it away from the material very slowly, because you want to make sure that those weft yarns stay nice and straight, going straight out. Once you have the material to this point, now is when we want to secure those edges. So again, Make sure everything's going nice and straight. Some guys will use a latex. I've always preferred contact cement. I've tried a couple of different adhesives. What I love about the contact cement is as I roll it, because rolling this edge over and keeping it uniform, keeping it tight, literally has so much to do with the visibility of the seam. So I like contact cement because as I roll it, it just goes right in and it sticks. It doesn't go anywhere. So what you'll want to do is you take this contact cement, and as you brush away, you hit the backing and then, of course, the yarn. So guys, normally too, as I do this, I'll usually put a scrap or something underneath here. Obviously, I don't even like getting contact cement on my cushion, so I'll usually put something underneath there. I'm on the cement board, so I'm not too worried about it. Another thing, guys, keep in mind when you're using contact cement, a lot of contact cement is still flammable. And really, anything that's any good anymore, it's going to have some smell to it. So make sure you're using it in a well-ventilated space. Just, keep safety in mind as well. So once your contact cement is set up, it's got nice and tacky, then basically you'll take these edges and you will nice and gently roll them into that adhesive. And again, how well you make this roll. Keep it straight. Don't let it, kind of angle back and forth. Keep it nice and straight as you go in, and keep it even. In other words, don't have it nice and tight for a little while and then you loosen up a little bit. You want to make this nice and smooth, nice and tight, because that literally has so much to do with the visibility of this seam. So basically, once you have that edge nice and rolled over, now you actually have a good, clean, very secure seam edge. I can't pull those up anymore. They won't come up. They're very well secured. Now, as far as the types of installation for something like this, now always check with your manufacturer. Your manufacturer may have specific specifications on how they want to see it installed. Typically, an installation like this, 99.9% of the time, I am installing it in a double stick fashion. I'll use a nice premium adhesive like Taylor's Agile to both for my cushion to floor and also my cushion to carpet. Keep in mind too that all manufacturers anymore, I don't know of anyone that doesn't, require you to use a seaming tape when you are doing a double glue application. So very much with this as well, I definitely want to be using a seaming tape. Now, in your seaming tapes, I will usually use an uncoated, meaning a tape that doesn't have silicone on the back, because obviously if you're using one with silicone, that can interfere with the adhesion between your adhesive and your tape. I'm ready to seam it together. Again, I'm a big Cool Glide fan. This would be a double glue application. So there you go. Very nice seam in a flat weave product. You'll always end up with a little bit of a lineal line depending on the product. Some of them will show it a little bit more than others. But you have a very secured edge that will take on traffic and just about anything you can throw at it. So once again, Taylor Adhesives, we're with you every step.